There we go. Now we're good.
Is it up?
I think we should be up now. Can you guys check?
I'm still not seeing anything, but it might be a moment. So.
Yeah, still not seeing it either.
All right.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, there it is.
We're live now.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yay.
Hello everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are now officially in the starting the stream, but we're gonna wait a few minutes, okay, and then we're gonna start. So how's everyone doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, so on the call with me I have the 3 of the 4 composers who are on the stream. They are on the Discord call. So chat, can you guys hear the composers on the call?
Hey everyone.
Hi, I'm Cash.
Hello everyone. I'm
Sharif.
Kilian Davies.
Okay.
Hi.
Can people hear in the stream or in the chat,
Yep.
guys?
They're saying yes.
Nice. Great. And as you guys can see, I have a pretty nice setup, you know. Obviously a special YouTube live stream setup.
You
And
can just play it and the notes just show up.
what's that?
You can just play and the notes just show up.
I know, it's like magic.
It's beautiful.
Okay. So alright, so let me just warm up for 2 seconds. Just a random musical basics introduction. All right, cool. Hello everyone. Welcome to our live performance today of Play My Fans Pieces, episode 4. Okay. First of all, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you today for being here on this live stream with us. It's a very special event for my channel. This is my first live stream that I've done in over 2 years, I think, on YouTube on this channel. And well, I did have like a Patreon special live stream like a week ago, but that doesn't count, okay? Anyways, I'm rambling. With me on the call right now, they're on the stream. I have 3 of the composers, Sharif, Killian, and Noah. Unfortunately, Rafael couldn't make it. So, guys, do you want to say hi to the audience?
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone.
This is Sharif.
Hi. Oh.
Yeah, so it's Noah, who is Cash Warrior on Discord, Killian, who is
Yep.
Rubatissimo, and Sharif, who is Sherry, right, on Discord. So
Yep.
if you
Correct.
people in the chat who are on Discord, you guys probably know them. So great. Obviously, this is a big event, probably the biggest live stream event I'm going to do this year. So I'm really excited to get started. Okay. As you guys know, the first Fans Pieces episode came out last year in January, and since then we have had 4 episodes. In each of them I played 3 or 4 of Fans Pieces. So just really quickly in the chat, I want you guys in the chat to comment your favorite Fans piece that you have heard so far from any of the episodes. Episode 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, while I warm up a little bit more. Okay. A lot of gentle and fierce zephyrs. I'm fun. Wow. Okay. Obviously, Winter Fantasy was also very popular. And Licorice Radiata, which was the Red Spider Lily one. Okay, cool. So obviously, it's good that the audience, you guys all know like the fans pieces that we've played in the past, and I hope you guys all watched the 4th episode, because this live stream is focused on performing those 4 fans pieces live, okay? And then we're gonna do the audience vote, where you guys will vote for your favorite piece, and then we will award some money, $2,000 total, $1,000 for charity for the audience favorite, and another $1,000 from my personal, like not my personal favorite, but like my personal best score or whatever under my scoring system. So today we're gonna perform all 4 fans pieces in reverse order. Okay. Wow, a lot of people like clouds. In reverse order, because that's how we're gonna do it. Okay. The first composer we have is Raphael M. He could not be on the live stream today, but he prepared a statement anyway for me to read for you guys. Okay. So Raphael says his piece is called Tingin, which means to look. And that is it's his first ever completed piece, which is something really impressive to be able to write at this level for your first ever piece. And I think it's like a really special melody too. It's dedicated to someone who is very special to him. So let's get some flames in the chat for Raphael. Okay. Some flames or excitement in the chat, just to show your support. Okay. So here we go. Hope you guys are ready. Composers who are on the call, can you guys mute yourselves so that we can have a clean audio experience for the audience, okay? All right, I'm gonna start. This is Tingin by Raphael M. The first fans piece we're gonna play today. Okay. All right. Awesome. That was just such a beautiful melody. Although it was short, okay? But I don't know why. The more I listened to this melody, the more I loved its unique flavor. So let's get some claps in the chat for Raphael. Great job to him. I'm going to just read a little bit of what Raphael wanted to say because he couldn't be on today's call. So just tell you guys a little bit about his piece. Again, it's called Tingin because, so he says, when I looked at her secretly, I felt so hopeless because I could not talk to her because I know she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So I composed this piece to tell her what I feel without any words. So it's for his crush, I think. It took him 3 days to write this piece. It's a very sweet, teen, like it almost sounds like tingling, like your feelings are tingling. And it took him 3 days to write this piece, and you know, his idea is that, you know, uh, if someone wants to write a piece like this, he recommends just, you know, use your heart to find the best sound, right? To love your piece, because your piece can communicate what you cannot express in words. Okay, so that was Raphael's piece. Composers on the call, do you guys have any thoughts about his piece?
I absolutely love how the melody and the chords interact with each other. They just feel so perfect and just nicely sit. They just sit well, so nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
yeah.
agree.
totally, I totally agree with Noah. And even if it's quite short, I'd say that it's so full of meaning and feelings that, yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
definitely
Killian.
agree with those comments. Yeah, there's something very unique about the pacing as well. The music has this gentle walk by the river type of pace to me, and it reminded me of a couple of scenes in a few video games that I've played. You know, there's just a sunny scene, something serene. It's very smooth, very calming. I really enjoyed it.
No, definitely. It sounds so genuine, you know, and so great job, Raphael. Okay, great. So now we have our next composer, Noah Hughes, or as I like to call him, Cash Warrior, which I think is
Hi.
one of the best usernames ever. Noah, do you want to say something about your piece?
Yes, my piece Clouds was written for the purpose of expressing kind of my thoughts of my dreams and my goals, my aspirations of what I wanted to do in the future. It's kind of something I do whenever I just look up at the sky.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really cool. It's a very personal piece. Let's get some flames in the chat for Noah, or actually, you know what? Let's get some clouds, okay? Let's get some actual clouds for the piece Clouds by Noah Hughes, okay? And meanwhile, let me pull up the sheet music because I was not able to memorize this piece. Okay, composers, if you guys can mute yourselves. Once again, this is Clouds by Noah Hughes. Okay. Wow. Um, man, that was that was so much fun to play. Although I did mess up a little bit.
That's
I'm
all
gonna
right.
be honest with you guys. At first, I really did not like this piece because it sounded kind of like atonal-ish to me. But the more I practiced it, the more I could hear the tenderness, the genuine feelings in this piece. So let's get some applause in the chat for Noah, okay? And some clouds. So Noah, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Noah, he probably is still muted right now.
Oh no, I'm here. Can you hear me? Wait, can you hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Um,
I can hear
Lionel
Noah.
here?
wait a second. Oh, actually, it's because I don't have the right headphones on. Sorry, guys. I have my other headphones on. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, okay. Noah, sorry. I have my other headphones on, which was
Okay.
for me to be able to hear my piano better. Noah, so why did you choose the title Clouds?
Well, quite simply because I was inspired to write it by looking at the clouds, but also somewhat because the structure of the piece was to represent the clouds and how they move through the sky, and then if a storm comes, and then the aftermath of that. So
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, by the way, audience, if you guys have any questions for Noah, feel free to ask. If I can see a good one, I will give that to him. So Noah, how long did this piece take you to write?
oh my gosh. Well, I believe I started. So I originally wrote this back in 2016, but that version I was rewriting in March of last year, and I think it took me about a little over a month to write all of that.
A little bit over a month, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It is it's really phenomenal. And what's your favorite part about this piece that you want the audience to,
Hmm.
appreciate more?
So the part after so in the beginning when you have the little wandering section,
Yeah.
the part when you start crossing your hands and you move up, that section there where it's kind of in 6/8 and you have the duples in the right hand. I really like that part a lot.
So is it like the part where it's like, no,
The one after that.
the one after that?
Yeah, the part that man, I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, it's okay. No, I know. Wait,
It's-
try. It's like this one. Wait, hold on. It's like, right, that part.
it's in the section after that. It's
Okay. All right.
like da 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 da.
Oh.
But yes, yeah,
Yeah, that part is really nice.
yes.
My
I like that.
my
part.
personal favorite of your part of your piece was this part.
Oh,
Like, I love this chord that you put right here.
oh,
It's perfect.
I like that part too.
Yeah, I feel like when I played that, I truly like connected with this piece. I could hear you speaking out. So okay, great job, Noah. Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next composer is Killian Davies, or as many of us know. Many of you guys know him, Rubatissimo. Let's get some flames in the chat if you have watched the channel Rubatissimo, or if you know of Killian from Discord or wherever, as part of the community. Killian, his piece is called Before It's Too Late. So Killian, do you want to say something about your piece?
Well, yeah, I composed this piece on two different levels, in fact. So, on a more personal level, I'm not very good at showing my feelings to people, so especially using words. And I wrote this piece to be able to say I love you to someone very dear to me, my mother.
That's
And on a more general level, Lionel said in his video, I also want the listeners to understand that it's really important to treasure those we love and tell them what we want them to know before it's too late.
Yes. I think that's really profound and really meaningful. So, guys, remember to tell the people that in your life that you love them and how much they mean to you before it's too late. Okay. So now I'm gonna play "Before It's Too Late" by Killian. Composers, if you guys can mute, and audience, let's get some flames in the chat for "Before It's Too Late." Okay. Okay, wow, that was gorgeous. That was so emotional. Killian, good job, man. Like, seriously, when I was practicing this piece, I had tears in my eyes multiple times. Okay, it's truly a really emotional song. Chat, if you cried while listening to this song, let's see some crying emojis in the chat. If you cried. So Killian, are you on the chat? Are you on the call?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thank you very much for what you said. It really touches me.
Yeah, so I have some questions for you. And audience, if you guys want to ask some questions, feel free to do so. Killian, what was the so Killian, what was the main inspiration for you to write this piece?
Well, that's what I said earlier, just before you played it, and beautifully.
Yes. Repeat yourself.
So, yeah, I've composed this piece mainly on a personal level for my mother, because I want her to know that I love her, even if I don't say it because I'm really bad at this. And yeah, on a general level, I want to say everyone in the chat that it's really important to tell the people you love that you love them, because you never know if something can happen. And
Yeah,
do it before it's too late, because
I
it's
totally
really
agree.
important.
And one of the people asked, if it's for your mother, then why is it so sad?
Because I'm not good at composing happy things.
Oh.
I guess.
Okay, so you want to like channel your inner depression? Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. I'm so edgy, you know.
Guys, let's get some knives in the chat for Killian's edginess. What was the Okay, so what was your favorite part about this piece that you want the audience to appreciate more?
Oof, that's a very tough question, because so many parts are important for me, and almost all of them have a meaning. But for example, the part when the left hand stops playing eighths and play larger chords. So I think on your video it's the part 10 minutes 5.
Yeah.
And
So just for audience reference, it's this part where, and then it goes like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that actually is also my favorite part of this piece. So yeah,
really?
that part it's phenomenal. It's just like so tender, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's an inversion of the main melody at the very beginning, and it really shows the kind of flip in your mind where you tell yourself, well, it's okay, it will be good, and you can turn the page and try to go on.
Yeah, that's truly beautiful. Okay, awesome, great. Thank you, Killian. That was truly beautiful. Okay. So our final composer today is Sharif Karama, who is a composer from Canada. His piece is called Aila, which is an Arabic word, which means family. So Sherif, do you want to say something about your piece?
Hi. Yeah, sure. So, as you said, the song is called Aila, which means family.
Aila. Okay.
Yeah, I don't expect you to say it this way. It's okay.
Okay.
So obviously the song is about family, and to be even more precise, it's about the merging of two families. When I had first met my current fiancée, girlfriend at the time, we had just been dating for a couple of months. And her parents and my parents were coming over to our place to have dinner and to meet for the first time. And so while we were getting ready to receive them, I just sat at the piano and I just had this melody come out almost immediately, and it was just a really nice sunny day. It was and I felt genuinely happy that day. Because for the first time in my life, I kind of knew where this was going. I knew that, this was the first time that our families would meet. And I knew at that time that it was just the beginning of something huge. And now here we are 3 years later, we have a baby daughter, and our families have merged. So that's what the song is about.
Wow, awesome. So it's really a romantic melody, right? A real romantic, a piece about love, right?
Yeah, I think so. Love in general. Yeah.
Great. Chat, let's get some hearts. If you are heart emojis, if you are ready for this love song, because it is truly one of the most romantic pieces I have ever heard. Okay, composers, please mute yourselves. This is Aila by Sharif Karama. Okay. Oh my god, that was so emotional. I got really caught up in that piece. Wow, I really love the simplicity and the tenderness of the melody. Like, this is one of those pieces that just I feel like it grows on you. Like the more you listen to it. Let's get some applause in the chat for Sharif. Some hearts too, if you're feeling romantic. Sharif, man, the backstory behind this piece is truly beautiful. You know, so I wanted to just ask you, you know, how long did it take you to write first of all?
Well, the main melody, you know, it's the same theme that keeps building up and up towards the end. It came to me almost instantly. I was in the shower actually, and the idea came to me, and then I remember running out of the shower in my towel and sitting at the piano just because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. And then I played it for a couple of hours before my in-laws arrived, and then in the days after that, I kept, you know, just tweaking about and just fiddling with it for a couple of days. So the main melody took, you know, it was almost instantaneous, but then every little variation that I built after that took me about maybe 2 weeks of, you know, every morning I would sit down at my computer with the keyboard. I had my earphones on. My girlfriend was still sleeping, and I would work from like 6 to 9. So about 2-3 hours for about 2 weeks, and then I was done.
Yeah. Okay. So you had that idea. It was just like you just knew that was like the right melody. Right?
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
that moment.
definitely.
Just curious, since you said that you wrote that piece. This is actually a question I was wondering. You wrote that piece before your in-laws and your parents met. So how did that meeting actually go?
Super well, actually. Super well, thankfully. I'm really lucky to have, you know, a great family on both sides. Everybody's, you know, super kind and super curious, and you know, they're always asking questions to each other, and, you know, easygoing, I would say, you know. So the relationship is great between our two families. And it's actually part of the reason I wrote the song also was because it's something my dad taught me when I was very young. That, you know, when you meet someone and you want to spend your life with that person, it's not just about that person. It's also, you know, you're entering their family, and their family enters yours. So it was very important to me that day would go well, that our two families would get along and everything would. So I'm very happy because it did go well, and it's still going well.
That's awesome. And one of the questions in the chat that I think is worth me asking you is from Judah is, how long have you been playing, or how long have you been writing music for you to be able to write something like this?
It's a tricky question. I started playing music in a very amateurish way when I was very young. I was maybe 4 or 5. I just had like a toy keyboard and played with that. You know, I wasn't very serious about it. And then when I turned 12, I played guitar for a couple of years. I was in a rock band. You know, it was a whole other thing. But classical music and, you know, compositions per se, I would say I started around 2021. I'm 35 now, so about 15 years. I studied for about 2 years in classical music, and then I just completely switched fields. I mean, you know, I work with computers, so it's completely unrelated.
Sure.
But you know, music is always going to be part of my life, so I do it on the side.
Yeah, I can tell it's really important to you.
Definitely.
What's your favorite part about this piece that you want the audience to appreciate more?
There's a few very subtle details here and there that I enjoy, but I think in general, because, you know, it's a series of variations, so that the theme is presented the first time very simply. There's, you know, basic harmonies, nothing's going on the left hand really, and then with each new repetition, it builds up and up and up. So I think my favorite part is really when that last climb towards the very last variation, where the left hand just goes all nuts with, you know, on the left hand, and then the right hand has these big chords. It's really triumphant. It's really like a victory for me. So that's my favorite part.
Okay, let me just play that really quickly.
Right.
This is also my favorite part. This is part where it ascends. Is that the part?
Oops, sorry, I was muted. Exactly
Yeah.
that part. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So I truly love that part too. So wonderful guys. Let's get some applause in the chat for all 4 composers. Okay. Seriously. All 4 pieces were so emotional, so genuine. And the thing about, like, you know, when I'm choosing these pieces actually is like, I mean, I do care about like things like, you know, compositional technique and, you know, it has to be at a certain level, right? But once it's past that level of like competence, then I don't really care so much about like what is the most technical or what is the most, you know, sophisticated or nuanced, right? Instead, I look for the pieces that have melodies that I have like this personal connection with, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to play it properly, you know. And so I feel like all 4 pieces, I just developed this really personal connection to them. So I want to say thank you guys, composers, for composing such fantastic pieces of music. And we're gonna get to the audience voting very soon for the audience favorite. First, I wanted to give the composers a chance to talk to each other. Okay, let's have a roundtable discussion of sorts. And chat, if you guys have any questions for the composers, right, in addition to what we already talked about, it can be something light, like what's your favorite food, or what's your favorite color, or something more philosophical, you know. I don't know. What is the meaning of... Just kidding. Okay, so feel free to ask any question, and then I'll try to give the good ones to the composers. So let's start with each composer. If you guys can share your thoughts on the other composers' pieces besides your own, okay? Noah, let's start with you.
Okay. I absolutely love how you both write melodies, because I feel like just the way they develop, like you introduce your ideas and then you develop on them, and then whenever it reaches the climax, it just feels satisfying and natural. And especially it, you know, by the time we reach the end, I feel like we've explored everything and it feels like a great conclusion. Same thing with Raphael, who isn't here. It's just all of you guys' melodies are just wonderful.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I actually I have almost the opposite compliment to give you, because when I heard your piece, Noah, is not that it's not melodious, it is, but it's such a difficult way of writing for me. It sounds, you know, it's very impressionistic. It sounds like something Debussy or Ravel would have written, and it's music that I love to listen to, but I'm completely unable to write something like that. So definitely, you know, I raise my hat to you, because it's difficult. It's complex writing.
Yeah, exactly. I think exactly the same. It's crazy. And I love also how it connects with the title of the music.
Mhm.
Like clouds, they are beautiful yet very intimidating. They are really peaceful, but sometimes really stormy too. And the music is really exactly the same. It's crazy. Really congrats.
Thanks.
Nice.
I also think that both of your pieces, the personal connection you have with them and the personal experience you draw from to write them, I can't really do that, to be honest. So I'm just a little bit jealous, but also I'm just, wow, I can really feel the emotions.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome what Lionel.
Sorry?
I mean, the time that he took, you know, to learn our pieces and to play it so well, because they're not easy. All 4 pieces are difficult to play, and so I think it's amazing for us as composers to be able to, you know, to pay attention this closely to someone else's music, because there's always something to learn. For instance, you know, in Killian's song, in Killian's piece, at first, the first time I heard, you know, all 4, Killian's was my favorite. Now I'm unable to choose, to be honest. I really enjoyed all 3 of them.
Same.
I think, you know, Killian's piece for me maybe connects more on a personal level, because it sounds like something maybe of a Schubert or Mendelssohn era, and that's mostly what I listen to when I listen to classical music. And in each of your pieces there was something that I'm unable to do. I listen to them like, damn, it sounds so easy when you know when you hear it, like it's obvious this is how it has to go. but to come up with that idea and to come up with those harmonies and to make it work, it's really unique, and it's really interesting for me as a composer to hear someone else do it.
Yeah. Wonderful. And so I want to read one of these questions from the audience, if that's okay. Lena Luo asks, have you ever gotten sick of your own piece while trying to develop or practice it?
100%.
Let's
Did you want
start
to go
with
with that?
Sharif.
Yes, the short answer, yes.
What happens? Okay, so actually, maybe elaborate. Like, what happens when you get sick? Like, what do you do to overcome that?
You just have, you kind of have to power through, I think, because one of my teachers a couple of years ago told me something that really stuck with me, that you have to abandon this idea of the romantic composer drinking and riding through the night. This whole thing, the genius, the strike of genius that we imagine Beethoven might have had. It might be true to an extent, but there's also a lot of actual work behind pieces like this, and sometimes you have to abandon the part where it might not be fun. You have to just work. So. Mm-hmm. I would say power through. There were mornings I didn't feel like doing it. I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to get up at 6 and work on that, but I really wanted to get to the end of it. So yeah, just perseverance.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's definitely true. Like, it's not always easy. It's not always sunshine and rainbows to write music.
Exactly.
I think one of these questions is, I personally want to know. From Tiberius, Lord Tiberius, is Cash, I think it's specifically for Noah, is how did you develop such a unique style?
Oh my gosh. My style is a little bit all over the place, I'll be honest. It just depends on the instruments I'm using. But I think when writing piano specifically, I started to develop my style a lot back in, I think, the senior year of high school, when I was reading my piano collection type of thing piece and stuff. So I would say that what influenced me to develop my style are video game music that I listened to, the percussion music that I played in high school, and the piano pieces my teacher would have me play, which, as a lot of people pointed out, was the Debussy, so Impressionist area, and a little bit of Chopin. So.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely hear Impressionist influences in your style. This question is for all the composers. Dana asks, do you guys associate colors with the music that you hear? And yes. If so, what is the color in your piece that you associate it with? Let's start with you, Killian.
Well, I don't usually do that. Well, I mean, working with the Synthesia rendering helps me to do that a bit, but when I compose, I don't see colors, really. I really just hear chords and all. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Fair enough. What about you, Sharif?
I should have an answer for this, because it's a question I've already asked a composer a couple of years ago, and I was upset when he didn't answer me. For this piece, I can't say I have a color. If I had to pick, off the top of my head, I might say orange, because it's radiant and warm. And,
that's the one I chose.
I think that's the one. Yeah, that I would have to go with. Yeah.
Okay, nice cop-out answer. What about you, Noah?
For me, I would say absolutely yes. And everything I write, I'm always like imagining the colors of the different sections and how they blend together. And with cloud specifically, I want to say in like the calmer sections, I'm kind of imagining more of a bluish, sky obviously, so like sky blue. But in some of the sections where like there's a lot of notes kind of flowing-ish, it's a little more green. Like I would say probably aquamarine. And then for the stormy section, I was kind of envisioning more of a purple. So it kind of like fades between them as the piece goes on.
Right. No, I think purple makes sense for like a stormy kind of feeling, because it's all dark and stuff. And actually, yeah, when I was doing the color choices, like, because you can choose the color, right, for your pieces, I thought about the emotion, right, and I actually tried to choose the color that felt most, suitable. So it was blue for clouds, orange for the for Aila, right? Although I could have done red, but I felt like red was too much,
Yeah.
Whereas, right, Sharif?
Yeah, a bit too aggressive, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been more like that's like more like anger or like
Yeah.
super passionate, like intense. Killian, I did purple, dark purple, kind of like a muted purple as opposed to like a brighter or like more cheerful pink. Because obviously it's quite sad.
Yeah, actually, I see colors only when I have to think about it, but I don't think about it like when I compose it, just afterwards.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense, Okay, let's do one more question. I think there was quite a few people who asked you guys like, what are some like composition advice you might give to someone? Just like, really brief advice, obviously, but like, some advice that you might give to someone who doesn't play piano, or in general, like some composing advice for someone who can get started with writing their own music.
Okay, I'll give some first. For me, the biggest thing is to have a plan and to envision it in your head. So if, like, obviously you can get down ideas and stuff that are like, I guess, instantaneous or like you're not really thinking about it. But I think once you start getting those initial ideas down, it's really helpful to get a little scope on what you're trying to aim for within. You don't have to stick to that, but just having one there helps you to guide yourself.
Right.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so to have a plan.
Yeah.
Killian, do you have any advice?
Well, I was going to say almost the same thing. Yeah, just if you have a story you want to tell, try to get it to the point that you have the whole plan in your head, and it makes the composing really more easier,
Yeah, so basically just like to have a vision in mind before you start writing. I think you guys all kind of touched on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Cool. So I think that's one takeaway. Obviously, practice writing as much as you can, and don't be scared. Yeah. Don't be afraid to express your true self. Because really, that's what music is all about. Okay, guys. So that's I think that's a good conclusion to our discussion. Now we can move towards the voting section of the live stream. Audience, are you guys ready to vote for your favorite piece?
Oh my
god. Audience, I hope you guys are all ready, because what we're gonna do now is we're going to do the vote, and the winner will get $1,000 for their selected charity. So we're going to be donating $1,000 to charity today. Okay. Obviously, this is for a good cause. So you guys will have to make sure. So we're actually going to talk about the charities first. Okay. Before I make the vote and let you guys vote, composers, why don't you guys talk about the charity that you chose? Okay. One by one. Sharif, let's start with you. And while you do that, I'm going to make the poll. Okay.
So my charity is called Saint Justine. It's children's hospital here in Montreal. The reason I chose it, well, the first time I held my daughter, seconds after she was born, she was so tiny and fragile, and the feeling of love and absolute terror that fills you as a parent to imagine that something could happen to your child. It was just terrifying. And so at that time, I remember thinking about, any parent that has to go through something like this, that has to go through their kid being sick, or their kid, needing some hospital, some, health services. It's horrible to imagine. It's horrible to go through. And so this hospital here in Montreal, they do amazing work for children. They need help. Obviously, they need funds, and that's why I picked it.
Awesome. Okay, Killian?
Well, I've chosen a charity called the Apollo Music Projects because, well, I think that classical music is really one of the most beautiful things in the world, and that everyone should equally be able to have access to it. So that's exactly the goal of this charity, so that's why I chose it.
I see. Wonderful. And sorry, Cash. Noah. I'm like, yeah.
I don't have too deep of a reason for why I chose the charity, but it's the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum. Basically, that is because of the recent events and stuff, and just I figured it would be a good time to give some money to that. Just something simple.
Yeah, I think no. I mean, since I did like the Stop Asian Hate stream a week ago, I was like, ooh, that's a good charity. But that's not gonna bias anything, okay? And then lastly, Raphael's chosen charity. He selected UNICEF Philippines. Because the UNICEF, I forgot what UNICEF stands for. It's like United Nations something. Helps children whose parents cannot afford to take them to hospitals because of poverty. Many children are suffering from diseases, and he is concerned for their nutrition. Okay, so he chose UNICEF because these children deserve a chance to live a healthy life. So, I think these are all great causes. Obviously, the charity itself, it's you guys should try to choose the piece that you like the most, not based on the charity, okay? Okay, guys. So I have the link ready. It's gonna be in the chat. You guys, we're gonna start 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes is a good amount. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 minutes to vote, and then moderators, actually, if there are stream moderators in the chat, can you guys just help me by copying my link and just pasting it again and again, so that way, when chat goes up, like, it doesn't get drowned out. Okay, so I'm gonna paste the link right now. Audience, get ready to vote. We have 2 minutes, and I'm sending a timer right now on my iPad. And so once the timer, actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold up the timer right here. I think you guys can see. Let me see if you guys can see this. Sorry. All right. If you guys can see this, once this timer goes to 0, we are going to. All right, I suck at this. Anyways, whatever. There's gonna be a timer, and once it goes to 0, we're gonna pause the voting, and whoever wins gets the $1,000 for their favorite charity. 3, 2, 1. I just posted the link, and I just started the time. Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 seconds, and I'm gonna start the timer right now. All right, so everyone vote. Vote for your favorite piece.
Can I vote for my favorite piece of the other composers?
Yeah, so composers, you guys can vote because I'm not gonna stop you. But I am gonna put in a vote for Raphael because he's not here. That makes it fair, right?
Yes.
And then if you guys want, you can vote for someone else's piece. You can vote for your own piece. All right, guys, 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Vote. This, now the composers know like what my plan was for the vote.
It's stressful.
Is it?
Yes.
So I'm going to press view results once the timer is up, and the second I press view results, it's going to be the final tally, and I'm going to do print screen. Actually, I'm just going to switch over to the screen. I'm going to do a refresh, and I'm going to do print screen. So guys, we have 1 minute or 50 seconds left. Go ahead and vote if you haven't yet. Thank you, Bat, for posting the poll in the chat. Vote. This is a ghetto ass voting system, but it's fair because this site is known for like having a duplication prevention kind of thing. So, people can't like log in like 5,000 times and vote, which is, in my opinion, the most fair. All right, 12 seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to the screen, refresh, and do a print screen right now. Do a print screen. Holy crap. Okay. That was close.
Wow.
That was close. I have a print screen, but I think the result has not changed since I did my print screen. So when I did my print screen, we have Aila at 44 votes. Before It's Too Late at 42, Clouds at 26, and Tingin at 14. So that was the final result when I did print screen. I mean, if it's different now, then it's not that much different actually. Okay,
Awesome.
so congratulations, Sharif.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and for your votes. This means a lot. I have no idea.
So wait, what was your charity again?
So it's Saint Justine. It's a children's hospital in Montreal.
Wonderful. And yeah, okay, so I will so after this stream I will do the donation in your name, okay? And then I will post the results on the community channel so that everyone can see it, okay? As proof
Awesome.
that
Thank
I
you so
didn't
much.
just sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, as proof that I didn't just keep the money to buy some McDonald's.
That's a lot of McDonald's.
All right, guys.
Well,
so
to be honest, I'm glad Sherif won this because I feel like his charity is more important than mine.
Honestly, no, man.
That's-
When I saw the choices of everyone else, I was like, well, these are all excellent choices. I didn't even care who won. It's it's all money for a good cause. So
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So okay, so now it's time for Lionel's choice. Okay, Lionel. I'm Lionel. This is my personal award to the composer who I believe wrote for me the best piece this time. Okay, it's not my favorite piece because favorites, everyone has subjective bias, but in this kind of an evaluation I try to be as impartial as possible. Okay, so so now I will award another $1,000 to the composer, and that will go to the composer directly. Okay, so they can either use it to buy groceries, or buy a guitar, buy a steak. I don't know. What would you guys buy? Killian, what would you buy 1,000?
McDonald's? No. No,
Yeah.
I would probably buy things I don't know for my YouTube channel, to be able to have better videos, I guess.
Sure. No, that's a good thing. What about you, Noah?
I would save it for whenever I have to move out and get a job.
Oh gosh.
Coming up soon.
And Sharif, my assumption is you will spend it on your baby, right?
I think I have no choice with this one. I might just make an account for her under her name, put that money in there and give it to her when she's 18 or something.
Oh, that's beautiful, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
So, or I can say, if you guys want, you can also donate it to charity, or you can donate it to the Musical Basics Patreon page. Quick plug, everyone! I have a Patreon. It's the best Patreon. There's nothing more to say except for that. My patrons are the best. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons for their support, for making my YouTube channel possible, for supporting the community and supporting all the events that we do and all the live streams and all the videos. Okay. So let me talk now. It's my chance to talk about my scoring system. To remind all of you guys, I score compositions based on 5 criteria. Okay, which I've used since last year's Judging My Fans Pieces, episode 1. For those of you guys who remember which video I'm talking about, it was between Jess and Zulawski, where I came up with this criteria for judging composition, because judging composition is not. It's like a very subjective thing, right? It's like there's no right or wrong, right? It's like if you connect to the piece, like obviously you're gonna think it's better than a piece that you don't connect to, right? But I try to be neutral about it, kind of like take into account everyone's different views, like the audience's views, the composer's view themselves, and also the performer as the pianist. The performer is also a very, big part of that whole process of, communicating the message of the music to the audience. So the 5 criteria that we have is compositional technique, expressiveness, originality, structure, and playability. And each piece will get a score out of 10, okay? I have used this judging method for multiple occasions, and it's, in my opinion, it's probably the most fair that I personally could come up with, So, and before I start judging or giving the scores, I want to say that these are my subjective scores. It's not based on general consensus, right? It's based on my personal taste. So, and that's the only way to do it, because there's no such thing as like general consensus for assessing the value of a work of art. And so I asked all 4 composers beforehand if they did not want me to score their pieces, because of the whole subjectivity issues. And none of them said they don't want me to score their pieces. Is that still the case, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So so we're gonna score the pieces, And also I thought about not scoring the pieces at all, but just giving all 4 composers $250 each. Okay. So I wanted to ask the composers really quickly, would you guys be okay with that? Just like each receiving 250?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
of course.
I think that's fair also.
You think that's fair, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay. Well, so I thought about that.
Wow.
And obviously that's like a kind of like a sharing is caring kind of solution, right? Some might say like a more socialist or communist solution. So, but I think I promised that I was gonna do a winner, so I think I'm gonna stick to that promise. Okay, so so we're still gonna give $1,000 to the winner of my score. That's the highest. I'm gonna score everyone's pieces. I wrote this down last night, and I don't know who the winner is yet because I just did the score and I didn't add them all up yet. I'm gonna skip Raphael's because his piece is too short. And it's kind of unfair to judge his piece against the others, because first of all, it's his first piece, and it's not really fair to compare a 2-minute piece against 3 5-minute pieces, like 5 minutes give or take. My main reason for choosing it was that I just wanted to show the melody to the world. I love the melody and I wanted people to hear it, so we're gonna skip Raphael's, and I think that's the most fair. Okay, so now let me score Noah or Cash Warrior's piece. Okay, Clouds. For compositional technique, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Okay, because I think there were some really awesome harmonies utilized in this piece. Okay, Cash, he used a lot of scales like pentatonic, hexatonic, Lydian, Dorian, like whatever Ian he used. Okay. And the whole piece has like a lot of color and range, so worthy of a 9.5 technique score. Expressiveness, I'm gonna say 8.5. Like it was very expressive or emotional during some sections, but then during other sections it kind of wandered a bit. So actually, Bat, if you're in the chat or one of the moderators, if you guys can help me write the score down and then add them all up so that you can tell me who wins, that would be great. Because I can't do math in my head. Okay. So expressiveness is like a really subjective category. So at some points I did feel like I lost the connection to Noah's piece, but then at other parts I really felt it. So 8.5, I would say it's like for the most part I could feel it, you know. Structure, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Okay, it was a radical structure because the piece itself is about a wandering mind, right? So it makes sense. Actually, my original score was even lower than 6.5, but then I thought about like how this was actually Noah's intent to not make it structured. But it definitely does not have like it doesn't have really any motifs that repeat themselves, you know? So unless you have listened to it 100 times like me, you can't really pick out the main theme. So 6.5 for structure. Originality, 10 out of 10. Super original. I don't think you can get more original than that unless you're writing some kind of avant-garde music, which I would say is like, you know, bonus points for originality. I don't know. But 10 out of 10 for originality. Playability, 7.5. Some sections are just hard to play. Okay. And I almost wanted to cry during some sections when I was learning it because even though the notes like themselves were playable, right? I feel like it could have been written better for the piano, you know? And that really takes experience to like, you know, constantly write for piano, then you can figure out how to write stuff that's more pianistic. So it definitely wasn't unplayable, but I think 7.5 is a reasonable score. Okay. And yeah, it was hard for me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because I'm like a really, you know, romantic, not so like impressionist kind of composer. Okay, so now let me score Killian's piece before it's too late. Compositional technique. I'm gonna give this piece an 8 for compositional technique. It's very well written, but I feel like Killian did not take the risks that he could have. And he kind of played it safe with a lot of the harmonies, you know? So whereas Noah went all out with the harmonies at the expense of structure, Killian, he preserved structure, but I feel like he could have gone further with the compositional technique. But, you know, he still kept things very structured and very playable. So 8 for that. Expressiveness, I'm going to give it a full 10 because it's such an emotional and powerful piece. I don't think you can get more expressive than this. My favorite part, obviously. That's my favorite part. That is one of the most powerful moments that I have heard in music. So it's really good. Structure, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because, like, Killian, he intentionally repeated that, you know, right? Something like that. I don't have the sheet music anymore, but that motif constantly repeated itself, and it was very structured because of that. So 9.5. And that helps audiences a lot who listen to it, because audiences care more about structure than composers. You know, audience, they want to listen to the same themes repeated again and again, whereas composers, they more want to explore the various crazy ideas they have, you know? Originality, I would say this piece is not the most original, okay? The motif itself is a bit generic, but I think there were some moments that were really original, but I'm still gonna give it a 7 for originality. Okay, that's that's quite low actually. Now that I think about it, but let's go ahead. But I can't change the scores anymore. I can't be biased. Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't be biased. Playability, Killian is a great pianist and he knows what he's doing. So I was able to learn this piece super fast. That shows like you know, like good writing. Like if you write some piece that the pianist can learn really quickly and just be able to express themselves really well, then like that shows your skill in writing a playable piece, you know? Whereas if you write a piece that it takes pianists a long time to learn, it just means that like you know, in my opinion, that aspect, it's harder for me as the pianist to bring out my emotions when the piece is less playable, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm gonna give this piece a 9.5 for playability. Okay. Whew. Okay. I can't change the scores anymore. I wrote them down yesterday. Technique. So now let's do Sherif's piece, Aila. Okay. Compositional technique. Even though this piece sounded simple, there's actually a lot of technique that goes into Sherif's writing. The way that he was able to use compositional techniques like expansion, inversion, retrograde, whatever those compositional technique names are, you guys all know them. He utilized them really well. So that's why he was able to make the melody go from a simple melody into a full-blown one without losing any of its, I don't know, like novelty, you know, like you don't want to get bored of it, right? So we don't have that. I'm going to give it 8.5 because it kind of falls in the middle of like not taking too many risks harmonically or rhythmically, but still having good compositional technique. Expressiveness, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's so emotional. It has a lot of great moments. A lot of really emotional climaxes or really soaring. Structure, I'm going to give it a full 10 because it's just so well structured. Like it has the same melody, but it develops it so well, you know, over the time. And there's like a nice trend from like something small to something huge. That sounds really basic, but the point is it's very structured, you know. Originality is like Killian's piece. I feel like Sharif did not take too many risks with the melody. He had the right hand take the same melody the whole time, and the chord progression is pretty generic, you know. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 for originality. And finally, playability. It's extremely playable. I would say there are some parts that could be a little bit better, but overall, pianistically, it's phenomenal. Very easy for me to play. I would say a solid 9.5 for this section. Okay, everything just felt right when I was learning it. So I know I just talked a lot, but it's all my fault. Yesterday when I was writing all these scores, I wanted to just give a little bit of my reasoning so that you guys don't feel like my scoring is like, you know, random, right? Before I reveal the final score, or before Bat reveals the final score, I just want to say, I'm not going to look at chat. I just want to say my personal favorite this time was Before It's Too Late by Killian. It's completely my style. And the thing is, for me, with these pieces, like there's always that one section that captures my heart. You know, like with Razel's piece, King Tab, it was like, you know, like that moment was just phenomenal. And then with Killian's piece, it was, you know, right? Wait, was that the right chord? Yeah, there we go. So that part, just phenomenal. So who won? No, we did not get the pieces for the... I decided not to score Raphael's piece. So I think next time I might do a percentage-based system where I will award the percentage of the price based on the points. But this time I promised to do 1,000, so that's what we will do. We will stick to 1,000. Okay? Has anyone been keeping track? Okay, Bat says Sharif got 45 out of 50. The winners, okay. Wait, what was Killian's score? Bat, what was Killian's score? Say everyone's scores.
I think it was 44.
Killian was 44, and Noah was 42.
Okay.
Holy crap!
Okay, so
Wow,
yeah,
that
Killian
was
got
close.
44, and okay, 42. Wow. Whew. Congratulations,
Close.
Sharif.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
say. Thank you
congrats,
so much. Thank you so much. This, I mean, I have no words. It means so much. it makes this piece even more special to me because it's the first time that someone plays my music, and it's a song I wrote for my daughter. So it's the whole thing is just really special, and to top it off with winning a prize and being able to give money to a charity is just what an amazing gift that you're giving us. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And yeah, I would say that it's so meaningful that you wrote this, for that it's dedicated to your daughter. And I think that kind of like meaning showed, in your writing of it. It let you write something that was really meaningful. And so, yeah, I gotta say, actually, like at one point when I was playing the piece, I was kind of like a little bit envious of the love that you had, because I felt like it just came through so powerfully through the piece that had you not felt that level of love, I don't think you could have written that piece. Does that make sense?
That's true. Yeah, it does. It's true.
Yeah.
You're a composer. I think you're all composers. You'll understand what I'm about to say. It's sometimes, it feels like it. I have no merit because I didn't write this. It kind of wrote itself on its own. It just came to me because it comes from such a strong place, from such a strong emotion that you can't take credit for it. It just happens. It's something that's bigger than us.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Sometimes the best melodies just come from God or the universe or
the
heaven.
heart.
Like
Yeah.
you don't know where it comes from, but okay, so wonderful. So I just want to say a big thank you to all the composers for being part of this Musical Basics event. This is probably the biggest event I'm going to do this year, or at least until maybe episode 5. I don't know, but this is definitely the biggest one, at least this half year. I kind of wish I didn't promise the whole prize thing last year because before I thought making a prize will be cooler and more fun, but now after over the past year, my personal musical understanding has kind of evolved, and now I realize that music should not. I think now music should not be judged. It should not be scored. It should not be criticized. I kind of realized that when you do that kind of criticism, right, like what I was doing earlier, it's kind of almost reducing the value of the music in some way. And so I kind of wanted to say that to the composers, this time I think it might be the last time that I do kind of a scoring kind of system, but nevertheless, I think that the scoring that I did, was based on the most objective standards that I had at the time. And I try not to be biased about it.
I think it was pretty fair scoring.
Yeah. I mean, this is all what I initially promised last year when I did the submissions call for pieces in August. So it's been over 7 months since that day. And so this time I'm fulfilling all of those promises that I made that I was going to do a scoring system, which I now look back and I look at that scoring system. I'm like, okay, I don't think it's actually that great to reduce a value to a number of scores. Like a piece like Clouds is not worth 42. It's worth it's worth an infinite amount of money or score or number, whatever. But for the purposes of competition, you have to score, right? Otherwise, you can't decide on a winner. So my point is, in the future, I might turn playing my fans' pieces back into just a showcase kind of thing. So not like a competition. And then I will maybe create a separate competition for people who just want to compete. And then I will have judges or something. Maybe that will make the whole thing more, more reasonable. Okay, so that concludes the stream. I just want everyone to know that I'm going to be doing another live stream tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a special Musical Basics performance tomorrow where I'm going to be playing my originals as well as a bunch of other pieces, classical pieces, originals, fan pieces as well. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, same time, live stream for just a completely performance. So no talk, not much talking. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, or 6 p.m. GMT, it will be my performance, my originals, fan pieces, classical pieces. And so yeah, remember to save your calendars for that. And composers, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here today once more.
Thank you so much.
And
you as well so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And thank you guys, audience, for listening and for being part of this whole process. Okay. All right. That concludes our stream. I'm going to pause the stream because I want to keep this stream solely focused on this fans pieces showcase and everything we did today. All right. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you.